every time.
Live.
The no timer, it throws me. It still throws me, and I know it's stupid and it shouldn't. It's just, it's a lot all at once.
Just click go live and then just do something. That's all we got to do, you know?
Do a trick.
All right. So tomorrow is the NFL draft. Well, tomorrow is round 1 of the NFL draft. So
Finally.
we thought that it would be fun to do. We did this a couple months ago where we basically did like a series of I think it was 3 rookie mocks. 2 of them ended up being Superflex. 1 was 1 quarterback. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just doing a sleeper draft. So the link is down in the comments. You should see it. Just click on the link. You guys can join the sleeper rookie mock. The first one that we're doing is a Superflex one. Justin and I are already in there. I see a couple other people are starting to slowly get in here. So once it fills, I'm just going to hit start and we're just going to go.
We'll run.
Probably shouldn't have it be like 7-10 rounds, huh? Probably should just fix that real quick.
Fix the draft board. Yeah. I also think we should probably throw for this draft class. I feel like it would be weird to not do a tight end premium. There are enough good tight ends that I'm intrigued. Like in mid to late rounds, I will be grabbing tight end more than I usually do in a rookie draft. I think
in a normal one,
in a tight end premium one, like even most
like even a normal one.
You think? I mean, so who are the guys you're taking the first 2 rounds before we even get into any of this?
Tight
end wise,
Mayer, Kincaid, Washington, I feel like are all like top 15, 16 picks in normal Superflex, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And then you could throw, depending on like draft capital and landing spot, you could throw Musgrave in there. You could throw Laporta in there. There's definitely a couple guys that I'm curious on where they actually end up going to flesh out like the entire depth. Like I feel like it's just locked and loaded. Mayer, Kincaid, Washington. Those guys are going to be in the back of the first, early to mid second.
Yeah.
As long as they're, and I think all 5 of them are going to be like top 50 picks in the NFL. We're probably going to see 2 of them tomorrow night, at least. So,
yeah. Oh, I'd be shocked if we didn't. Also, let's throw up the draft board so people can see what spots are available. I know we're starting to fill up. I think we have, what, 6 filled?
1,
7,
2,
something
3,
like that?
4, 5, 6 left.
Until this draft fills, guys, again, the link is in the comments if you want to join on Sleeper and Draft with us. Until we do that, throw some questions at us. We'll do a quick Q&A while we're just trying to fill this draft up. That work for you?
Yeah, works for me.
Does that work for you guys? Just out there in the world? Okay, there's another. What are we waiting for, 5? All right, we got a little bit of time here. So while we're waiting, Addison, biggest shock you think is going to happen tomorrow? What's your hottest take?
Oh boy. I think that the
say something crazy.
Say something crazy. So, the Houston Texans are going to trade up and have 2 top 5 picks. They're going to end up taking they're going to end up taking one of the quarterbacks, and then they're also going to probably land like Will Anderson or something like that. Because I've seen the reports that they're trying to move up, they're trying to move back, they're trying to do something with that 12 pick. I think they're getting 2 top 5 picks by the end of the night, and I think that's going to end up being how it goes.
That would just be the beginning of the night. I mean, that's it's as early as it can get, I feel like. But I hear what you're saying. I don't hate it. I've bought into the Paris Johnson Jr. PJJ going to the Cards. I'm ready for that. It's up to like plus 270. And I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. I'm bummed as a Bears fan, but it feels like that's where they're headed. I hope to God it happens, because I want Will Anderson to fall, because that means Jalen Carter falls. That just means it's better for the Bears. I'm ready for it.
William's in the chat. Happy to join, guys. Love your content. William, glad you're here. Glad to have you here. Jacob is in the chat. Jacob is a YouTube member as well, too.
Love
So
that. Love to see that.
be more like Jacob. Jacob is asking, how far does a quarterback fall and who is it? And he's talking specifically like of the top 4 guys, the main guys. How far does one of them fall? And then which one of them is it?
Oh, man. The thing is, like, I know which one I think should fall. You know which one I think should fall. I don't think Will Levis is falling. I think he's going 2 at this point. If you guys can't tell, I'm very easily swayed just by draft rumors. I'm an idiot. I think Anthony Richardson is the one that will fall, and I think he'll drop to like 11. Like the Titans feels like the floor. I don't think we see any of the top 4 really slip because there's been that talk of Richardson falling to like the mid-teens. I don't know. I don't think he gets that far.
Yeah, I do think that of the 4, Richardson is the one to fall as well. Maybe this adds into my hot draft day hot takes. Is I would not be shocked, and I know like people like hated on me for this when saying this when I talked about like the Aaron Rodgers trade, but like if Green Bay just kind of like gets a quarterback tossed into their lap, I would not be surprised if they end up pulling the trigger, or even if they jump up a couple of picks to go get one of those quarterbacks who falls. Like
I
they
hope
might
it's Levis.
That
I hope the Packers get Levis. Please let me face a duo of Jordan Love and Will Levis for the next decade. Oh, that would be great.
That would be hilarious.
I need it. I need it.
Jacob said he's going to throw up Mayo if Will Levis goes number 2. So
I want to. Yeah, I'll join you. Why not?
Hey, our mock draft is full, so we should probably start the mock draft, and we'll get to the comments too as we go through in here too.
Yep, definitely.
So be sure to definitely keep leaving more comments. But we're gonna hit start on this thing.
Superflex. Do not forget Superflex. I think we're 0 for 2 every time we've done this.
Well, yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. But Bijan went number 1.
Didn't see it coming.
Whoa.
There's no scenario where he's not 1. I've been there for months, and I don't think that's gonna shift. Barring like again, he's like, day 3 or something like unforeseen and stupid happens.
Did you see? I got a comment, and I was actually I racked my brain on it a little bit. In a 14-team Superflex with a little additional QB premium kind of scoring, would you still take Bijan 101? 14-team Superflex.
Yes. I am. And here's the thing. The quarterback is such an unknown. Any of these guys, as much as we like them, none of them are a Joe Burrow. None of them are a Trevor Lawrence in the terms of prospect. Like those guys felt as safe as you could possibly get. And people had doubts of Trevor Lawrence after year 1. So it's just so hard to scout and predict quarterback. I'm going to go the safe route, especially in a 14-team league. An elite asset at any position gives you an advantage. Right. So give me Bijan. That's how I'm going to treat it.
That was essentially my answer as well, too. Like if you could just go and get a blue chip player in Bijan, I think that's the right answer. Because if you're taking a quarterback, who are you going to end up taking there? There's all 3 of them are in a similar tier for me. So it just feels weird to be the guy to make the first pick of the 3 and pass on Bijan.
Completely agree. Also, JSN at 2.
JSN at 2. I did notice that. Do you think we're going to start seeing that more and more?
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy. I really don't. Again, it just speaks to the volatility of quarterback and trying to hit on a quarterback in a rookie draft. Like if you're contending, I'd rather trade the pick, but 2, I will take JSN over a quarterback because if you have to rely on a rookie quarterback, you're not a true contender. Like that's just the truth because your QB2 is probably going to be a mid to low end QB2 at best.
Yeah.
It's not a contending roster.
Yeah. I don't know. I still feel weird about taking Jackson over. I think Young and Stroud are the 2 that and I think you can argue Richardson as well, just because of the pure upside that he presents. It's going to be really weird to see how we treat Jaxon Smith-Njigba. I could see like if he, personally, I don't like the Green Bay Packer landing spot for him.
I don't think it'd be good for fantasy. I think it's realistic though. I think it's very realistic.
I do too. Like, Green Bay and New England seem to be like the 2 teams that are like, oh, like we're really in on JSN. I'm like, man, I'm really not in for fantasy for both of them.
That's my nightmare. Also, just looking at the first 6 picks here, this is in some order how I expect basically every single draft to go. Like that to me is the expectation. That is your top 6. Like having a top 6 pick to me, I think is a clear-cut advantage because the talent feels very solidified in that range. Like at 107, again, if you are a Will Levis fan, Will Levis is in play. If you are in on Jordan Addison or Quentin Johnston, he's in play. Zach Charbonnet, or whoever your RB3 is, that 107 is the start of a new tier. It's not a spot I'm like in love with picking, just because it's I hate being at the top of a tier. But that being said, Zach Charbonnet is my 107 pretty consistently, and assuming he gets round 2 draft capital, I don't think that's going to change for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I completely. I Will Levis, I'm going to throw into that tier. So I actually have.
Yep, I know you do. I know you got him.
I think the 109 is for me is the start of gross. Not gross is a hard word, but of like just a lot of unknowns, a lot of question marks. See, did you end up seeing who I had to take? I told you.
You called it. You called this.
We were deciding what positions we were taking here, and Justin and I wanted to be far apart that we didn't really mess each other up and we could talk in between. And so he took 7, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just take 11, and I'll end up boxing myself into having to take Quentin Johnston. I literally said that like
your wide receiver 2. Your wide receiver 2. You should be thrilled. Dude, you can change that.
I know I can. I probably will end up changing it by the end of the NFL. Yeah. Like I'm really hoping that like Addison lands somewhere like fantastic, and then Flowers is like 10 picks ahead of Quentin, or Johnson falls to round 2 and Flowers is round 1. That'll push it. Push
I think we need to talk about the next 3 picks.
Let's do it.
Michael Mayer at 112. Hendon Hooker at 2-1, and then Dalton Kincaid. Thoughts? Too high, too low, super weird. What is it?
I like Mayer. I'm in on Mayer at that price. And Kincaid being just a couple picks, but like if this was Mayer 112, Kincaid 2-2, like how it was, completely fair. If it was the complete opposite, if it was Kincaid 112, Mayer 2-2, totally fine with it. I'm not on board on the Hendon Hooker thing. I just don't get it. Like I don't really understand what there is to love about Hendon Hooker and like why we're treating him like he's not the same as like a whole lot of other day 2 quarterbacks that we've already seen. He's just for some reason being pushed in around 1.
The late second is where like Mac Jones was going his rookie year. Like, Mac had a wide range, but I saw him go like early second of Superflex drafts, and Mac Jones is a first round pick. Hendon Hooker could be a first round pick, but I think Mac Jones is better or was a better prospect than Hendon Hooker is at this point even. Hendon Hooker is a guy who I think will see the largest swing in ADP from, pre-NFL draft to post, because he could go at the end of the first, he could go mid-second, he could be a day 3 pick, and I wouldn't bat an eye at any of it. So he is the one that is going to like change drastically, and I don't really care. I'm still not taking him in the second round.
If he goes to Minnesota in the first round, where are you comfortable drafting him? Because I think the assumption then would be that Kirk Cousins is gone after this year. They're going to just play it out with Kirk Cousins on his guaranteed 1-year deal in 2023 while Hendon Hooker recovers from the injury. But then next year, I think the assumption would be that Hendon Hooker would take over. They let Cousins walk.
The thing is, I don't want to take him. To me, he's a roster clogger because I don't think he's going to be good. You know what I mean? Like if he's there in like the 4th round, sure. Because what else am I going to do? But I just don't want Hendon Hooker at all.
Yep. Yeah, he's gonna Jalen Hyatt. There's a couple other players in there too that I'm just totally fine letting someone else take, and I just don't even want to deal with it.
100%. So, looking Downs, Hyatt, I think that those both make sense. I'm fine with those ADPs. Roshan Johnson, Tajay Spears, Kendra Miller, Tank Bigsby, Israel Abanikanda. That's an RB run.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody there that is out of place, out of order.
It's just this whole group here, and you could honestly probably lump in A-Chain, Zach Evans, and I'm going to take Sean Tucker because duh. But like this whole group of players, basically after Charbonnet, is just a big wide tier of guys that all feel pretty similar. And I think that are ultimately just going to be ranked based on how the NFL tells us that they should be ranked. You know, if a couple of these guys are second round picks, they're going to get pushed to the top. A couple of these guys are going to fall to day 3. They're going to get thrown down to the bottom, maybe even behind some other guys that are a little bit lower down in here, like maybe like a Chase Brown or a Dwayne McBride, Kenny McIntosh. Maybe one of those guys gets like mid 3rd round draft capital, pushes them above the day 3 guys. You know, it's just, that's kind of been the approach for how I've been viewing this running back class. Obviously I have my favorites. Like, you know, I love Sean Tucker. I love Kendre Miller. You know, you really love Abanikanda. Roshan's really interesting.
Abanikanda, I think, could be very good. I know he's not going to get the draft capital I want him to get,
right?
Which is going to be a bummer. But you know, I'll scoop him late 2nd, early 3rd as your kind of, you know, handcuff plus type guys that go on day 3 and hope he finds some value. I think he's good. He's super raw. He reminds me of Cam Akers in that sense. When Cam Akers came out, he was just a very young, raw running back. Like, there was so much left that Cam Akers had to learn. And then the Achilles injury kind of threw everything off. But I think Abanikanda is a very similar player in that sense, in terms of experience and play style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree for sure. So then we got Mims, and then again, the running backs just continue to go. I took Tucker. Zach Evans went right after me. Tillman then splits between A-Chain and Chase Brown. So just more running backs.
I want to bump Tillman up. Like, Tillman is a guy I would like to take. I'm taking Tillman over Marvin Mims. I'm taking Tillman over Jalen Hyatt. I mean, I think the NFL is going to tell me that's stupid, but we all know my thoughts on Jalen Hyatt. And again, yours as well. So it's just an interesting spot. A-Chain has fallen. I mean, like, pre-combine, A-Chain was a late first. Like, he has slipped heavily. There's been no talk on him at all. And now, like, when you get to this point in the draft, Rashee Rice, Kayshon Boutte finally went. You have Evan Hall, my favorite sleeper, Xavier Hutchinson sitting there at the end of the 3rd. I'm very in on that. And honestly, I like it because this is the last day I can probably do that until the NFL tells me he's a day 3 wide receiver, which you just typically shouldn't draft.
Right. That's how I felt about Sean Tucker, the 211. I was like, this might be the last time I get to draft this guy in the first 24 picks. So
get excited. Oh, man.
Mingo, there he goes.
I'm impressed.
I wonder if you had
I'm impressed people are holding off on Jonathan. I don't think ADP is all that updated, which why wouldn't? There's no reason to update it right now. They'll update it on Monday or Sunday, whatever day it is.
Yep.
So there's a comment here on the side, and I think it's an interesting one. This happens, I think it happened with Jonathan Mingo. Hadn't heard of Tyler Scott until like 2 days ago, to be honest. Yeah, this happens. We are so far into draft season that we all know about Jordan Addison and JSN and Zay Flowers. We all know the big names. So people are now looking to dig further and further because everybody wants their take of, hey, like I was all in on this guy, you know, and then he popped in the NFL before the NFL draft. We've entered that stage of the offseason, and I'm so glad it's about to be over.
It really is. Tyler, I just had to look him up in my database because I didn't even really know who he was. He apparently went to Cincy.
Yeah, he was a Cincy guy. He's a Cincy guy.
Played with Alec Pierce last year.
Yeah. Do you know Alec Pierce's brother is in the MLB?
Who?
That threw me off. I don't remember. I was watching spring training, and I was like, he's like, it's Alec Pierce's brother. His brother's a great NFL wide receiver. And I was like, well, that's aggressive.
Did you know JSN's brother's in the MLB?
I did. Isn't he on the Dodgers?
I think he's on the Pirates, and I think that's the only way that I know that.
The confidence with which I just said he's on the Dodgers.
Hold on, Jaxon Smith-Njigba brother, Kanan Smith-Njigba.
He's on the Pirates. We're gonna hear about that tomorrow. They're gonna throw that nugget.
He's on the Pirates. He's on top 3 MLB team Pittsburgh Pirates right now. So we're rolling.
I can't believe that crap. So that's collapsing. I don't know when, but it's happening.
Let me have this. Only in my lifetime as a Pirates fan, I've only have like 4 months where I could actually enjoy the Pirates being good.
All right, looking this late now. So Dwayne McBride is one of those big backs that I wouldn't be surprised got selected on day 3, kind of like in round 3, like Tyrion Davis-Price randomly jumped up.
Yeah,
McBride fits that mold. He'll be interesting. I think he's an interesting one to watch. I don't have a ton of interest in him as a player, but I think the NFL will.
Do you know how many career receptions he had at UAB? If you had to guess,
10. Isn't it like under 10? It's like 5 or some shit.
5. He had 3 in 2021 and 2 in 2022.
He's Brian Robinson.
But he led the NCAA in rushing yards during the regular, like not including the bowl games and stuff. He had like 1,700 yards.
Yeah, the dude, like he is a hammer.
Yeah,
he is an absolute hammer as a rusher. Unfortunately for fantasy, it's just that role is not going to be super productive. We know that.
Jacob said there are probably shovel passes too. I think one was. I think if I remember correctly, because he had like a 70-yard receiving touchdown, I think, that I remember seeing when I was like cutting up clips and stuff for editing. And I think it literally was like the quarterback dropped back. McBride did some sort of like shoulder hit on one of the like blitzing linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback like ducked under and then like underhand tossed the ball to McBride like 3 feet in front of him, and it counted as a reception, and he took it to the house.
Easy. Yeah, superstar.
So, reception.
So, looking at this looking at the end of this here, is there anybody in round 4 that you think could make a lot of noise year 1? Like Sam Laporta, I think in his career could have a very solid career at another Iowa tight end. We know the history, the production there. I don't know if I buy it year 1, but he's a guy I like to hold. I like to draft this late and stash. I think he could have a very productive career.
Yep, I agree. I noted Evan Hull as a player that I'm really interested in late because he just grades out really well in my marker system. He isn't a really good runner, but he had 55 receptions in 2022. So it's kind of like a cheaper Deuce Vaughn, but without Deuce Vaughn's size. Like Evan Hull is the same size as Chase Brown and Sean Tucker, and like the 5'9", 205. I think he's 5'9", 207 or something like that.
That's how I treat Kenny McIntosh. I don't think Kenny McIntosh is going to do crap as a runner because he's just so unbelievably unathletic. But it's insane. It's a bummer because I think he's talented. He just doesn't have the athleticism to do anything at the next level, anything meaningful. But he has the ability to catch a lot of passes and pass block. He's great at that. So I kind of treat him the same way. All right. Superflex draft number 1 in the books. Let's answer a couple questions, Addison. Or I'll pull up a couple questions while you set up the 1 QB draft. Can you send it to me on Twitter so I can join before?
No. You're going to be...
Here's the thing. I don't have Sleeper open on my computer, so you need to do this for me. That's all I ask. All right. I'm going to scroll up, pick out some comments here. Let's see what we got. Why do you hate Hendon Hooker so much? So, Addison, why do you hate Hendon Hooker?
I don't see it. Like I can't like describe what it is. I just don't see it. And also whenever you factor in the fact that he is currently 25 years old, coming off of a major injury. So I doubt that he's even going to be a factor at all in year 1. Like he might not participate in mini camp heavily. He might not participate in training camp super heavily because of the injury and the rehab. And then, so now fast forward to this time next year when he is healthy, he is a 26-year-old, for all intents and purposes, 26-year-old rookie quarterback, and I don't even I don't know if he was even going to be taken on round 1. If he's not taken on round 1, he's basically I'm not going to say completely worthless, but the hit rates and just the probability that you are a successful quarterback after round 1, even after the outside the top 15 for quarterbacks, is just drastically low. Like I just don't see what the difference is between a guy like Hendon Hooker and other guys that we've seen drafted on day 2 and 3. Like Can you tell, like, what's the difference between him and Desmond Ridder, or him and Sam Howell, or him and, like all Jarrett Stidham, like all these other guys that were like, they were productive in the NCAA, just didn't get the draft capital and don't end up being guys that we really want for fantasy at the next level. So to me, that's just what Hendon Hooker just represents. I don't see it in him.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Before we get to the next draft here, guys, if you watch this channel and you like what Addison and I do, you enjoy these live streams, you like our general content and videos, check out the DLF YouTube membership. Over there, guys, right now, you're going to get extra videos every month. I know we have a few members in the chat. They can vouch. The videos are good. I think the videos are useful. It's more of what we do on the regular YouTube channel, except we drop, maybe 1-2 extra videos a week sometimes. So check that out. I think there's currently a bank of 12 additional videos that you guys could watch from us. So check that out. We're going to try to drop the link to join in the chat here at some point. I don't know if you have it up, Addison, or not.
I can find
but check that out, guys. The DLF YouTube membership that helps support Addison and I while we do this year-round all of the time. With that being said, I know the chat, or the link is in the chat for the next draft. Are we going 1 QB?
Yes.
The next draft is 1 QB, 1 quarterback. So there are still several spots left. So join that, guys. I'm going to pull up another question here, keeping it on rookie content. What running back outside of the big three? So I'm going to assume Charbonnet is now lumped in with the big three. Most likely to get round 2 draft capital and shoot up the board.
Sean.
That's the name that comes to mind for me. It's not going to happen. I would love for it to be Sean Tucker, though.
He would be the guy. Like, if he ended up getting late round 2 draft capital, he would skyrocket up people's boards. 100% he would.
Yeah.
The guy I think more realistically that could end up happening to is Roschon Johnson, I think.
Yeah.
Just because he I feel like he's just in the middle to end of that pack of that. I was saying, that huge tier of guys who we're just waiting for the NFL to tell us how to feel about these guys. And I think that if Roschon Johnson, we've seen some of the rumors that he's highly coveted by the NFL because he still has a lot of tread on the tires. They think he's a very quality running back on the, limited touches that he did get to, obviously behind Bijan Robinson. Nobody's going to be productive behind Bijan Robinson.
It's tough.
But if you just look at, what he has on film, the production that he did have in that limited time, and the NFL rumors are at least telling us that that he could be a player that gets drafted earlier than people think. I think he would absolutely, like, if he goes to a good landing spot. I think I even said this in my and not in a Roschon Johnson video, but in the video that I was talking about, like, second round guys. If he were to land on the Dallas Cowboys in round 2 to fill that Ezekiel Elliott role, that is something that I think would push him up to being a fringe first round rookie pick in Superflex, especially some of these other wide receivers kind of, drop off a little bit. If Quentin Johnston falls to day 2, if, Jalen Hyatt falls to day 2, you get a running back in a premier offense with draft capital who we believe to be talented. That would be, and we're trying to covet these running backs. I think that would be something that you could see Roschon being like 112, 201, 202, and he's not currently there right now.
Yes, I agree. The one that I think could land on in round 2, and I don't think you and I would be happy about it or be all that thrilled, Zach Evans. Zach Evans feels like a player that the NFL may still look at pedigree from years back and take Zach Evans at the end of round 2. I don't know if he would shoot up my boards. He would move up because we have to factor in new material, but I'm still not all that excited about the player. Zach Evans, great rusher. Questions about why can't he earn a larger, share of the pie? Why is he not catching a ton of passes? All these other things. Right? There's things that have issues with the profile. But round 2 would push him up most people's draft boards. I don't think there's any way it wouldn't.
And I'd be fine with that because I get a better player after that. So
agreed.
Kind of like how Trey Sherman and like Keyshawn Vaughn got bumped up because they
TDP got bumped in.
Yep. Yep.
I'm with
We got
you.
2 more spots in this rookie mock.
Let's
pull it
pull
up
that
here.
up. Yeah. Someone else in the comments said tank Bigsby. I don't think Bigsby will go in day 2 or not day. Well, I don't think he'll be a day 2 pick, honestly, but I don't think he'll be a round 2. I wish he was. I like Tank Bigsby. I know, Addison, you're not all in. I don't think
he's close to Evans.
I have him ahead of Evans, but I agree they're not
Me too.
crazy far apart. I think he's a value in drafts currently, just because I want him over Tajay Spears. I want him over Zach Evans, and on those 2 guys both typically go ahead of him.
So we still got 2 more. I like this question here from Braden.
Real quick, update the draft. It says it's he haven't said as a snake.
Oh no, I thought it just gross. Linear. I thought it would have just kept the same setting.
It's also set to Dynasty 2 QB.
Oh my goodness, bro!
You what? Why we can't let you do shit?
No. Okay, this covered up our screen, but that's all right. Braden asks, this in a 12-team Superflex Dynasty PPR tight end premium. This is his roster with Josh Allen, Sam Howell, Sanders, Algier, Robinson, Waddle, Boyd, Dolchich. He says that his team is so bad. What do I do with my picks? 104, 108, 110.
Show me the roster again. Oh no, Allen Howell. That's unfortunate. Sanders. Find someone to buy the team. No, you can. No, I would trade back from the 104 because here's the thing: one player is not solving any of these issues. I am trading back from the 104 for another a pick in 2023 and maybe additional picks in 2024. At 108, if there's a quarterback still sitting there like Levis, I'd probably be scooping Levis there. And then what's the other pick? 111, 110. 110, I'm probably trading out, to be honest. I'll trade to try to gather like a 2024 first and a second or something like that if I can get it. So, I don't really want to make a lot of picks after the top 8 if I don't have to.
I was going to say my answer, I would take a quarterback at 1.04 unless you get a good price to move back or trade out. I'd be looking to see if I could get a quarterback if I'm trading out. 108, I'm in on like if you just want to take Richardson and Levis, just like roll the dice, and if you hit on snake eyes, then great. If you whatever, roll a bad roll, then they're both busts. But at least I feel like the probability that one of them hits is high enough if you own both of them, that I think it's worth taking the shot on both. 110, I do agree. I would be flipping that for the 24 first. But if you can't get a 24 first or something good, I would take a wide receiver since you only have Waddle and Boyd. Now, who that wide receiver is, I have no idea.
Trade the 110 for like a proven wide receiver. Trade it for like Hollywood and somebody else.
Would you take JSN at 104?
Actually, yeah. If I can't trade out, I would. I think that's a good idea. All right, we got a full draft here.
Yes, let's go.
All right.
Wonder who Colby's going to take.
In a 1 QB, dude, there's no way it's not Anthony Richardson, the upside. So I have a 12-team 1 QB league that's been going for like 7 years now. And I'm sitting with the 112, and I'm so uninterested in making that pick. And nobody will take it from me, and I'm just not having a good time with it. Yeah, this is, I think, how I would expect it to go. Mm-hmm. Most drafts.
I think this is that's the top 4. And this is basically the same area as we talked about with the quarterback or the Superflex, just add the quarterbacks in here. This is where in 1 quarterback leagues, the 1.05 is kind of the start of question marks, concerns, and bladness.
Right, like this whole stretch, we're just now about to see 10 running backs off the board, 10 in a row. Like, so are you taking?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, are you taking Mayer? How early are you taking Mayer in a 1 QB?
Probably around the 110, 111. Kincaid would be right there too. Both of them, they're like neck and neck. So
I think so. Like I'm at this point, and I am officially trying to trade out at the 109. Like I want nothing to do with this pick.
Yeah, I don't like it.
What do you do here? Like that's the end of another tier, right? Like 105 to 108. I think the next 4 wide receivers, you might get a running back sneak up here, but like it's not guys I'm overly excited about or overly confident in.
Yeah, this is where I think again, like if a Roschon Johnson or somebody were to come up in here, you know,
why did it put me on auto pick? What the? It didn't even tell me I was on the board.
Well, you took Michael Mayer.
That's the pick, anyways. It's him or Kincaid. Pick. Yeah, there you go. Take one.
Cool. A tight end.
Right, just a guy that, exists to block and catch passes. That's all I want.
Nice.
I think realistically, whatever running back, after the running backs shake out here, they will jump ahead of the tight ends. It's
probably.
We're staring at a group of 8 guys that we just have no clarity on.
Oh, there's Roschon.
So I know someone with Roschon as their RB5, like pre-draft. And like that feels high, but at the same time, it might be right come Saturday night. Like,
yeah, it's just so there's so many questions are going to be answered tomorrow and Friday for sure. Oh, my sleeper browser lagged. I made the 109 immediately, but it didn't show on your stream. Oh,
thanks a lot, Addison.
Sorry,
I knew it wasn't me. I say that as if my phone and I'm not drafting like a foot in front of my face. Here's a good comment, I think.
Yeah, I like some of these questions coming in here. Could you make an argument to take Gibbs over JSN?
Yes.
What is it?
It's Gibbs goes in the first. I think Gibbs, if he goes in the first, which is not out of the question, like at all, but I wouldn't be shocked if he went in the first or even like very early second. I'm talking like first 3-4 picks. If teams that had a need for running back, which most dynasty teams do right now, I wouldn't be surprised. It's a positional need and a positional availability type of thing. I think that's the argument. I prefer JSN, but I understand the argument Gibbs there.
Yeah, I think if Gibbs has to go first round, and can you imagine if like the Vikings or the Bengals made a decision on Cook or Mixon, end up moving them, and then they take Gibbs? That would. I mean, that would be it, right? Like that would.
Yeah, there it is. There are ways for him to get there, and I think even wherever he goes, you can make the argument just saying I like Jahmyr Gibbs more than JSN. We were there up until probably like 2 weeks ago, so
it's the running back over the wide receiver. Like as of right now, like I mean, it's still assuming that he would hit in the NFL, but last year I was saying to take Kenneth Walker over every single wide receiver in last year's class. I mean, now in the benefit of hindsight, we know about Wilson and Olave, and even London looks pretty good, but I still don't think you feel bad about having Kenneth Walker if you'd taken him over every single one of those wide receivers, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I remember the Kenneth Walker take. I remember that one.
Yeah, I was team Walker 102.
It was before I started at DLF doing this, and I was like, this clown's asking me to do videos. I remember.
You're like, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna help this guy because he doesn't know what he's doing.
I was like, I gotta bring some respectability back to DLF.
There are very specific ways that it could happen, but the default is probably gonna end up being JSN over Gibbs.
Yeah, I think so. And again, the top 3, that's a tier. Pick number 4 feels like a tier by itself. Like 1's a tier, 2 and 3 are a tier.
Yep.
And then you pick 4.
Yep. I like Drunk Squidward in here says that he is the 107 and his pick has changed every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, as people who put out content on rookies, like we make videos, I have put out videos and within 2 days, I'm like, damn it, I kind of changed my thought on like a tier or a player. And it's just, we're inundated with so much new information right now. Like it's I think it's good that we are open to changing, and our ranks have changed drastically since February to now. But I'm not looking forward to rookie season with like those mid to late round picks. It's gonna be chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. So before my pick here, real quick, we can answer where'd it go? Tyler's question here. Would you trade the 111 for Russell Wilson? I'm assuming this is Superflex.
It would have to be.
And I would.
Yeah, as I'm thinking about who's available there, like Jalen Hyatt or Russell Wilson.
Well, I took Quentin Johnston there last in the Superflex one, so
Quentin Johnston or Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Yep, same. I don't think it's. I understand why people would want to keep the pick, rookie fever, but Russell Wilson, I think, bounces back.
Agreed.
He's one of my favorite values, like by far, at the quarterback position. If you're doing new startups, love Russell Wilson.
Is there a zombie apocalypse going on in your house? What the heck just happened?
What? I don't know what that was.
What was that? Dude, that sounded terrifying.
I live on I live in Chicago, like on a major road. I don't know what the hell that was.
Dude, that sounded like you just like somebody hit a doomsday button.
My heart dropped a little bit. Is it?
We were gonna witness this live in a rookie mock draft stream.
That's just get freaking nuked to oblivion. Holy crap! All right, we do need to talk about the draft that has unfolded in front of us.
Sure.
Cedric Tillman at 203, Jalen Hyatt at 3-2. Are you taking everybody you see ahead of him ahead of Jalen Hyatt? Is there anybody that you immediately see and you're like, absolutely not?
I would bump Hyatt over Chase Brown because that's a draft capital argument.
Yep.
And I would also do the same thing for Zach Evans because I do believe that Zach Evans is a day 3 pick. So draft capital argument there too.
Be vindication if he is, to be honest. I would like that very much.
Tucker maybe as well. Again, day 3 running back potentially over late first, second round wide receiver. Not doing that. I'd take Hyatt over Marvin Mims as well.
Yep. I think we're in the same spot. My general rule of thumb is I'm not going to take day 3 running backs over day 2 wide receivers. I just don't let me rephrase that, over round 2 wide receivers. I just don't think that's good strategy. I think that's getting a little too cute with things. So a lot of these guys we look at, I think are either round 3 wide receivers or day 3 running backs. Hyatt should be ahead of them.
So you took Velus Jones over Dameon Pierce last year, didn't you, Squidward?
That's why I said second round. I took Velus Jones nowhere. I have never hated a pick more.
Was he a third rounder too?
He was also a third rounder.
Tyquan Thornton. Thornton was a second rounder, I think.
But Thornton was a horrible prospect. It's not a catch. There's nuance to everything. Tyquan Thornton.
You made it the rule, man. One who said this is my rule.
I did end up with Tyquan Thornton in a league, but he was my late 4th round pick.
Yeah. Yep.
Tyquan Thornton shouldn't have been a second round pick. That man belonged on day 3, and Bill Belichick can't draft. I've just accepted that.
Tyquan Thornton.
Dude, that one was painful. It's the same like Tutu Atwell. We all saw that and we're like, we're not falling for that shit.
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
There's stuff that happens. I'm like, not even draft capital could put me in on Tutu Atwell. Dwayne Eskridge. Oh my God, there's so many of them.
Why is everybody? Oh, Eric Gray's there. All right, we're back in.
We get to this point, and I'm like, oh, I know that name.
Deuce Vaughn's still out there, bro.
Okay, is there any scenario where you draft Deuce Vaughn?
4th round, yeah. Like, I would take him at your pick coming up here if he was there.
Yeah, I like having guys I can cut before the season starts.
Oh, no.
Deuce Vaughn is electric, but the odds of him being good, like for fantasy, fantasy good, are so slim. They're so unbelievably slim.
Yeah.
All right, who am I looking at here?
But he could be Darren Sproles.
I mean, he could be Darren Sproles. This is a possibility. Like, I can't say anything else. You're not wrong. He could be, but he's probably not. All right. You know what? I'll bite. Give me Raheem Jarrett. Like, again, another guy. Again, it doesn't matter. Raheem Jarrett is a
down
day 3.
List, my rankings list on here. Do I need to?
I should have took Trey. I should have took Trey Palmer over Raheem Jarrett. If I'm being honest.
You should have.
Raheem Jarrett will be a day 3, like a 7th round pick. You're not going to get anything out of him. He was fine at Maryland. I don't think there's much else to him. 22 years old.
Well, he's behind Mississippi wide receiver 1 Malik Heath on my marker system. So,
Malik
what
Heath,
does that tell you?
The true one. All right. So, looking at this board, who do you think from round 3 has the biggest jump in ADP at the end of rookie draft season? If you're looking at this list, you got to pick one guy that jumps up to like early 2nd potentially.
I feel like A-Chain is the cop-out answer. Because I think A-Chain could be a 2nd round pick. Or early 3rd.
I agree.
Who's yours before I give you my runner-up?
I'm between one, and I think it'd be interesting because no. I like Xavier Hutchinson, but no, because I don't think anybody's gonna get in on that train, including the NFL. But and this could be like, let's say we get camp hype or like news, you know what I mean, like early like rookie mini camp hype, right? Kayshon Boutte could pop back up. He really could. He is a name people are familiar with. People want to see succeed because he has been hyped for so long. The tiniest bit of news will push him up draft boards. Whether it's deserved or warranted, I don't know. There's a lot of issues with the profile, but it's a familiar name, and hype should push him up pretty quickly.
All right, I'm in on it. Rashee Rice, I think, could be in there too. My runner-up was Darnell Washington.
I saw an insane Rashee Rice stat today.
Uh-oh.
If you extrapolate out his games before he got hurt this season, he was on pace for 1,900 yards.
No.
This was the insane stat I've ever seen.
Oh, no.
I got to find it.
I mean, yesterday I discovered Barry Sanders' college stat line in his final year. So that was, do you know what it is?
I have vague memories of something just disgusting.
He had like 2,700 rushing yards and 37 touchdowns.
Yeah, after like 200 and 300 yards the year before or whatever.
Yeah, because he was behind another like 1st round pick.
Yep. All right. Rashee Rice, his receiving totals, if you took the sample of games before he injured his foot, and
how many games
extrapolate that? I don't know. My buddy Brian didn't say. Also, FF_Brian116. This is his Twitter, his tweet. So we extrapolate those games. 112 receptions for 1,964 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh.
It's so ridiculous. It's such I don't know what the sample is. It's got to be like 2 games. It has. I got to text him and find out what it is because it's hilarious. It's so good.
That would have been like, that would have been something that would have been like, dude, do you remember like, do you know what like Rashee Rice is going to be like a stud in the NFL because he had 1,900 yards in his final year?
It would have been the ultimate bust if he doesn't pan out. Oh,
it had to have been a sample. His first 3 games, he didn't have less than 130 yards.
There you go. That's got to be it then.
But then he played 12 games this year, so it's like he didn't miss time. But his first 3 games, he had 8 for 166 and 1, 9 for 132 and 2, and 11 for 193. Now, granted, the first 2 were against North Texas and whatever a Lamar is. I thought Lamar was.
And
Maryland was 11 for 193 against Maryland. So
somebody did that with Jonathan Mingo in his junior year because he got hurt, right? He got hurt week 3, or something like that, and somebody told me he was getting ready to pop off, or he was coming off a huge stretch. Well, he played Austin Austin PA, and Tulane, and had combined like 260 yards. I was like, yeah, of course he beat the crap out of Tulane and Austin PA. I'm like, yeah, that's what he should be doing. And then he's like, there was a start of something special. Well,
imagine if he didn't do that.
Right. Like, oh no, the extrapolation stuff in college especially is so funny. All right, we doing one more?
One more. This will be
one more
tight end premium.
Let's do tight end premium because I think as tight end premium gets bigger, first of all, I don't play a ton of tight end premium, so these things are always interesting to me. But this draft class is especially interesting because we have potentially 2 first-round tight ends, maybe 3 if the Darnell Washington hype gets out of control the next 2 days. So it's an interesting class. You get 5 tight ends taken in the first 2 rounds.
We're doing Superflex as well too.
Yep, Superflex tight end premium.
Tight end premium.
That's good. I mean, yeah, is there such thing as a 1 QB tight end premium league? That just feels like it would never happen.
Yeah, that feels weird. It's like your league is progressive enough to do tight end premium, but you're not progressive enough to do Superflex.
I want a petition for more 1 QB dynasty leagues.
I agree.
Old and reliable. I am a 1 QB redraft player. That is my favorite. I like 1 QB in dynasty. We don't need to get more creative every single time we have a new league, and it's starting to drive me crazy.
I agree. I'm team 1
Look at
quarterback
that
as well,
yeah.
With like 10 or 11 or even 12 starters. Just have the whole rest of it be running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends.
Yep, I'm with you.
All
right, guys. Okay. I was taking a second. Before we do this, before we jump into mock draft number 3 tonight. Again, if you like these videos, you like what we are doing, you want more videos from Addison and I, check out the DLF YouTube membership. We have 12 videos banked there right now, so you automatically would be buying into 12 videos. On top of that, you're going to get extra videos every single month. As we get enough members, there will be member-only I can't even talk shit. There will be member-only live streams. There's going to be a bunch of stuff. Addison just dropped in the chat the link to join the DLF YouTube membership. I know we had a couple members in our chat earlier. We had Jacob still in here, and I know Colby was drafting with us earlier today as well. They can vouch.
Yeah. This was like the fastest. It's like I immediately dropped the link in within like 2 seconds, like 4 people joined.
Good work. And
we're full. Before we start, though,
drop the noise too, because that's the worst.
Important. That is important. Before we start, I want to answer this question real quick from Ed. He has the 105, 101, 105, 107 in a 1 quarterback league. Would I be better off trading the 105 and 107 for either the 2 or the 3, or make a pick at 5 and trade the 7 for a random 24 first?
I would rather trade up. That random 2024 first, like 105, again, is the start, I think, of that interesting tier of Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison. Depends what you guys think of those players.
In the mock we just did, Johnston was 105 and Addison was 107, but Flowers and Downs were in there as well too.
Yep, right. So you're in that tier of wide receiver essentially, or if a running back gets unexpected draft capital, you can shoot up into that range. Give me the elite prospect. Like, you tell me I can leave with Bijan and Gibbs or Bijan and JSN, I'm all in. I am all in on that. That is where quality over quantity comes into play.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. You might even be able to get something a little extra on top, maybe like a 24 second, maybe something kind of fun that could fill out the depth,
something small.
Yeah, like a Jamal Williams or something like that. I like that.
Alexander Madison.
Yeah, some cool, fun depth player that you can just get kind of on top of it, just to even out the value a little bit more. But I would love to trade up, and you have Bijan and JSN or Gibbs, and just call it a day there. That sounds so fantastic to me.
Oh yeah. All
right, but let's get started. And with the 1.01,
here we go again.
Remember, guys, this is Superflex tight end premium.
PPR. Why not throw it in there? Like, I'm looking. Like at 104, I'm not making a change, but like, yeah, I'm gonna be boring. Give me CJ Stroud. Stroud will be, I don't care if he falls to 11 with the Titans or, the late, like just inside the top 10, right? Like 9 or 8 or something like that. I don't care. CJ Stroud will be my QB too.
JSN went off the board at 102 again. I had to check to make sure it wasn't the same guy. It wasn't.
We're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy. All right. So basically an identical first 7 picks to our typical draft. First 8 picks, same exact 8 players. Last time Mayer, where did he go in the original Superflex? Was that 112?
He went 112 and Kincaid went 202. So this is...
Are they going to go later? Because that's amazing.
That would be hilarious.
Somebody, just for the sake of making this different, take Kincaid or Mayer.
Take Kincaid first.
Damn it.
Wilson didn't want to change anything.
Well, tight end premium felt like it was going to be a huge difference. It is.
Oh, there you go. 201, 202. But let's talk about this though. So the first 8 picks went identical to a normal Superflex league. Would any of that change for you in a tight end premium?
The first 8, no, but I could see Kincaid or Mayer going at 109.
Where would you assume they're both first round picks? Well, we'll just say it's the popular landing spots for these guys. It's Kincaid went to the Chargers, Mayer went to Detroit or Dallas.
Kincaid and the Chargers would be my 109.
Okay.
In the first, I'm in there. I am all in.
And Mayer's still a first round pick for you?
Yeah, Mayer's probably going to go around anywhere between 110 and 112. It just depends what happens with Addison and Flowers, right? Like that's where landing spot. To me, they're in the same tier. Landing spot's going to dictate how they end up shaking out for me.
Okay.
In a tight end premium, assuming first round draft capital.
You're up right now, by the way.
Oh, damn. Look at that.
It's tight end premium, Justin.
I know.
I know. Darnell Washington.
Darnell Washington for me is that pick, assuming I think he ends up being like a late first. I really think we get 3 tight ends in the first. I hope we do. If he slips to the second and it's like a mid-second round pick and he's around like Laporta and Musgrave, I'll probably push him back a little bit and, pump up Tank Bigsby or, Sean Tucker or different running Ibanekanda in that area.
Sure. Yep.
So are you?
There's Hendon Hooker 206. That feels better.
I'm happy with that. Are you good with Tajay Spears as the RB5 in this class?
I had him at RB6 pre-draft.
I'm worried.
We're missing Sean Tucker, obviously, and we're missing my RB.
Kendra Miller.
Yeah, Kendra.
Yep. So I have the Tajay Spears injury things are interesting. That's been swirling that he could slip due to like injury concerns. He'll be if he goes to day 3, he's an interesting running back to watch. So I don't know where his ADP is going to fall. He could fall late second. Kendra Miller. There we go.
There it is. Yeah. Yep. Roshan at the 109 is high. Did you notice that? He was there 109?
Yeah, it is. Okay, here's the thing. Pre-draft, it's high.
But in my perfect world, in my head, when he goes to the Dallas Cowboys in round 2,
it's not high. It's not high at all.
No longer high.
Like if he goes to the Cowboys in round 3, it's high. If he goes to the Cowboys in round 2, it's not high.
Cowboys in round 1,
he's the 101.
He is better than Jahmyr Gibbs. So
exactly, you get it. So again, Kayshon Boutte again slipping to the 3rd. You get Tucker, Bigsby, A-Chain. Like this is where tight end premium. I'm looking at Laporta. I am looking at Musgrave.
Yep.
I'm potentially putting them at the end of the 2nd. Again, assuming they go in the 2nd round of the actual NFL draft. Ibanekanda going. That is such a bummer.
Laporta was in the back of my head when I made the Kendrick Miller pick. If that puts into
I'm thinking of him there.
Well, he just went now the 303. So
can't take him. So I mean, if he goes in the 2nd round, say, what's another landing spot people have just fallen in love with for tight ends? New York. You say he goes to the Jets. That's been thrown out there. My issue with the Jets, I've seen it floated as a good landing spot. By the time he's relevant, Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Yep. There's just too much. There's too much target competition there right now. Yeah, you're up.
Oh, I'm taking Musgrave.
Musgrave.
Tight end premium. Again, over Zach Evans. Zach Evans being here in the third is a crazy turnaround from where we were in February. Not us, but as a draft community. Evans was the RB2 for a lot of people. I got made fun of for not having Zach Evans at RB2. And here we are. I think things have not shaken out how Zach Evans truthers believed.
Nope.
There he is.
He's actually not good.
Yes. All right. We have a quick question. So we'll get to this question after the rookie mock.
Yep. We see you, Jordan. Don't worry.
We got you. We see it. All right. Have the 102 in a 1 QB league. Wide receivers are Chase, Wilson, Ayuk, DJ Moore, McLaurin, I guess KJ Hamler. RBs are Akers, Dobbins, Gibsons, B-Rob, Madison, McKinnon. Do you take JSN or Gibbs?
Oh no.
Best player available.
But who is the best player?
That's the cop out. Oh, take the best one. I don't know. I genuinely do not know. I don't think you can answer that until after the draft.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. You know, like King here just said JSN all day. I definitely don't disagree. Right. The one, I floated this out maybe like a month ago. There was like a comment that was basically something like this: who do I take, JSN or Gibbs at the 1.02? And I floated out there: could you trade back to the 103 and have the decision made for you? So then,
that's the dream.
You know, you just move back, have the decision made for you, get something a little extra on top, get a player that you still absolutely love. I feel like I'd take JSN and then I'd try to move an Ayuk or DJ Moore or McLaurin for a running back.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I fully agree with that.
Josh said best landing spot available.
BLSA, dude.
That's what everybody says.
We're a BLSA YouTube channel. Everybody knows that. It's well documented.
Or you just trade for the 1.03 and you take both JSN and Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm staring at a draft right now where the same guy has 101, 102, 103 in a Superflex. And he's like, I might just not even take a quarterback. He goes, I might just take Bijan, Gibbs, JSN. And I hate it. As someone who has the 107 and doesn't need a quarterback, I'm going to not have fun with it at all.
That's where you take Charbonnet. So
it's Marco. He's going to screw me over. It's a guarantee.
I love it.
Oh, the worst. All right.
Tucker Kraft went up there at the 306, by the way.
I don't have a lot of thoughts on
Tucker
Kraft, to be perfectly honest. Enlighten me.
I don't really either. I feel like he's just in that nebulous of tight ends who could be interesting, but also I could see him being like a 5th round pick and then just kind of like,
yeah,
you know.
I hear you. He feels like a guy that will end up getting lost in the shuffle of all of the draft and all the other crap that comes with it.
All right. Where is he on here? Let me see. Oh, I gotta scroll down a little bit. I don't like that. Oh wait, he's not even. I'm not looking at the right
thing. So here, like, what are your thoughts? Do you have any interest ever in Stetson Bennett, Max Dugan, Tanner McKee in a Superflex league?
No.
In the 4th round.
No. What's the point?
I agree. I just know that's a thing people look at and like, well, he's a quarterback. He could have the most value. Well, there's a reason he's there in the 4th round.
I feel like they just seem like such wasted picks every year that you take a quarterback down there that late. Like it just, I just don't get it. Like I'm always taking running backs this late. That's just how I am. Unless a wide receiver that I think shouldn't be there ends up being there. Like for me, last year that was Wan'Dale Robinson. Like Wan'Dale was like, if he's there in the early 3rd, I'm taking Wan'Dale over a bunch of other guys that I like, other running backs that I really, really like Keontae Ingram or Tyler Algier or, all those running backs. I don't think there's anybody really in this class who that is for me. So I'm just taking a bunch of running backs. Like Chase Brown to me is like the pinnacle 3rd round pick. Then you have a bunch of other guys. Oh, he's going to be fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Then you have a bunch of other guys like Dwayne McBride. I like Evan Hull. I just, these guys are interesting to me now. They might not be interesting to me by Sunday, but at least for right now, there's always a handful of guys every year that I go into the NFL draft saying, I really hope they land somewhere nice on day 3.
Yes. As a general rule of thumb, I will take day 3 running backs over day 3 wide receivers. Like the hit rate on your day 3 wide receivers, yes, you have Amon-Ra, St. Brown types, but your overall hit rate, and you're playing a game of odds, is so low. It's almost not worth it. I'd rather have a running back who can stick as a handcuff and at least give me, maybe 1 or 2 weeks of fantasy relevance as a rookie if injuries break their way, versus a wide receiver that you maybe have to hold for 1, 2, 3 years and never get a usable week out of. We see it every single season. How long did people hold on to Denzel Mims? Not that he was a day 3 wide receiver, but a wide receiver that we knew pretty early on wasn't going to be good. But you just hold on to wide receivers for so long. Where running backs, it's a lot easier to cut and move on and just forget about, basically.
Right. Bryan Edwards, I think, is a fantastic example of a day 3 guy that we probably held on to a little too long. There's a bunch of other guys like remember like Keyshawn Johnson, dude. Ashton Dulin.
Ashton Dulin. Oh my God.
I guess he was
Gabe Davis. I mean, there's so many. I like that you just didn't react to the Gabe Davis one at all.
Gabe Davis, dude.
Can't believe we're still waiting on that guy. It's year 4.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, I mean, you're looking here.
Antonio Callaway. Oh my gosh.
He was kind of nice at Florida. That's a bummer. I'm still waiting for that one. Anthony Schwartz. I mean, there's guys like people hold on and hold out hope. And if they bust so incredibly hard year 1, the best bet is to trade and get out. Trade them for reroll. Trade them for a 3rd rounder and just take another shot and see if that guy doesn't turn into complete crap also. Like, it's
right.
You're better just re-rolling the dice on a completely different dart throw. Oh, Tolbert, yeah. I thought he was going to be something. I'm so bummed by that still. But cut bait. He couldn't get on the field. There's no reason to roster him.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
So those are the 3 drafts. Took us a little over an hour, so I like it. So we're not going to do another one. We're just going to do some Q&A. So if you guys got any questions that you want to ask, we'll get to this one. Where was it? Jordan. We said we were going to get to you, bro. Let's do it. Draft strategy for a dynasty startup 110 spot. I guess we should have. I'm going to assume this is Superflex. Jordan, we're just going to move forward assuming this is Superflex. If it's not, let us know in the comments. We'll switch up real quick. But
yes, he had a comment up earlier, I think, that had it. Let me look.
Did he?
Where are you, Jordan? I saw it. I know you asked us this question. No, it didn't. Just this dynasty startup strategy.
Okay. Superflex. We'll just assume it's Superflex.
I mean, you're gonna get one of the good. You're gonna be in a Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson range, assuming Justin Jefferson and like Jamar Chase go ahead of them, which I don't think is out of the question at all.
No.
So if that's the case, I'm taking a quarterback or you're looking at Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Right. In that case, you'll take one of the wide receivers. But like if Lamar Jackson is staring me in the face at 110, I'm taking Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. Whoever's there. Like I've been running Superflex mocks, and those guys routinely pop up for me at that pick.
What about a Deshaun Watson, a Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray? These guys seem like they're in like the 3rd tier of quarterbacks.
I'm not taking them in the 1st because I got to reach over. Like I'd rather have at that point I have to reach over probably Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, right? If I'm going into that tier of quarterback. So I'm going to take those wide receivers first. I'm probably going to take A.J. Brown. I'm probably going to take CeeDee Lamb over those quarterbacks.
Okay. I would definitely, if you're not getting Fields, Lawrence, Lamar at the 110, I would take one of the wide receivers. I would take Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. I feel like you're basically guaranteed one of those 4 or 5 players that we just named, because there's basically 7 or 8 quarterbacks if you count Lawrence and Lamar, and then Jefferson and Chase, there's 10. So you're guaranteed one of those guys.
Yeah.
And then I would be hoping that back at the 202, I get a Watson, Dak, or Kyler. I'd be totally fine having one of them as the 202.
You definitely should get one of them. I'd be surprised if you didn't, because people will still take like a CMC or a Breece Hall, or they'll push up Garrett Wilson, Bijan. Like there will be guys that get taken there that aren't quarterback specific. So I think you have a very good chance to land any of those. Yeah. And then round 3, I'm just attacking wide receiver again for the next 4 rounds. And then I'll grab like J.K. Dobbins like the 6th or the 7th.
Where are you filling in QB2? Assuming that he doesn't go Lamar, Dak to like start it, and he started Jefferson, Dak.
I'm going to look at like the Kirk Cousins tier, which should be like round 4. Like Cousins in the 4th, I like a lot. If I miss him, you have Derek Carr late. You have Aaron Rodgers. Like there are guys, Russell Wilson slips always. There's a lot of ways you can go, but the earliest I would do it then is probably Cousins in round 4, not round 3.
I'd probably be willing to pull the trigger in round 3, but there's still a lot of talent there. Like if it's if it's Cousins or Drake London or DK Metcalf, I'm like,
taking all those guys. Devontae Smith. I mean,
because the quarterback playing field levels out a lot once you get down basically into that range. Like I'm like Russell Wilson in our Superflex, April Superflex ADP. Russell Wilson is going in the middle of the 5th.
His ADP is even lower on Sleeper.
There you go. So that like I would love Russell Wilson as my QB2. Then you can backfill with like a Geno Smith or a Jimmy Garoppolo, or a Mac Jones. Mac Jones is all the way down here in the 9th round. So
I think there might be a reason for that one though.
Yeah, I mean I get it, but it's like your QB3.
Yes, you're getting points.
Put in.
Oh, your QB3. I missed that piece. I was answering
QB3
a message. Yeah,
QB3.
Totally makes sense.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at, Jordan. Now, basically, if you're able to get quarterback off the rip, great.
That's the dream.
Fill out wide receivers, then see what value comes back to you in like the 6th, 7th, 8th round for running backs. Yeah, I mean I get it, but like 9th round QB3, like
yes, I hear you.
That's what I'd be doing. And then so Ryan has a similar question: strategy for pick 11 for Superflex startup with a 3rd round reversal. So he's going to end up picking at the top of the 3rd. Well, 302. So he'll have 11 and 14.
Strategy is the same as 110, the first 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to double tap quarterback. You should have Watson or Prescott in the 2nd or Kyler. Like I'm good there. At the start of the 3rd, I mean, if you can get like an elite wide, DK Metcalf, Drake London, Devontae Smith, all of those guys are going to be sitting there. Maybe Chris Olave slips if people get antsy on running backs. Like, so you could be looking at a spot where I think you're grabbing a surefire wide receiver 1, at least in terms of value. I'm probably not going to go running back there.
No.
And I'm not going to wait for a quarterback and go wide receiver at 202.
Yeah.
Because what quarterbacks are there that you're like excited about? You got to take like CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, and I just don't love that being a cornerstone of my team.
Falls.
Exactly.
Or Daniel Jones is apparently in that range.
Let someone else make that. If you draft Daniel Jones, you're just lighting money on fire. Not actually, but I think there's better picks you can make in that range.
Yeah. So they're basically the same thing. It just changes a little bit for you, Ryan, because you're going to pick a little bit earlier in the 3rd, and then your 4th is going to be later, and blah blah blah. But it's the same kind of principle of like Justin said, try to double tap quarterbacks. If you can't, go quarterback, wide receiver, then probably wide receiver in the third. Look to see, where you can find value on guys like Rodgers or Cousins or Russell Wilson or all those guys as your QB2. Then just kind of fill out your QB. Mac Jones in the ninth, apparently. So, which I get is gross, but yeah. Braden. So this is his team in a 12-team Superflex. Lamar, Kyler, Dylan Akers, CH Waddle,
Jones.
London. He's asking, do I take Gibbs to fill out my RB spot, or do I take my favorite player in JSN at the 1.04? So here's the team again. So does he take JSN or Gibbs at 1.04 in Superflex? Or could we throw him the other answer and tell him to take the quarterback?
If you want to take, if you try to trade back like the 106, if you know somebody's going to come up and take a quarterback, let them make the choice for you, because the other one will go at 105. But the thing with Dynasty, if I'm really torn between two players, I like to draft the guy that I like more. Like it's a silly strategy, but like you're gonna regret not taking JSN. Like if he's your favorite player, like that type of mindset, you're gonna be looking at it in 6 months and go, why the hell did I take Gibbs? Even if he's great, you're gonna wish you had JSN. So just take JSN. They're both good.
Right. You're gonna be like that Squidward meme of watching, Patrick and SpongeBob, except it'll be the guy, it'll be JSN and the guy that whoever drafted JSN instead of you. And you're just going to be like, man, like I loved JSN. Why didn't I just pull the trigger if he is your favorite? So I would just say, just take JSN then.
Not everything needs to be value-based. Sometimes you just take the player you like.
Yeah. Dynasty's about having fun. If a player just is really fun for you,
take that player. That's the way to do it.
There you go. Yeah. Tua?
I'm assuming at the third. As a QB2 in the third, because he'll be there in the third.
Maybe. His ADP right now is 18.
Is it really? That surprises me. Just because the sentiment of we see is so much more negative than I think what Sleeper's outlook is. So I still think he may slip to the third, but if he's there in the third and you didn't double tap quarterback, I don't hate it. It's a long-term risk. But I don't hate it.
Yeah, I would probably, if Tua was there in the third, I'd pull the trigger.
Yeah, probably.
That goes for both Ryan and Jordan. Ryan, I think, is more realistic. Jordan, I don't think you're getting Tua in the third.
No reversal. You're not getting Tua.
Ryan, Bijan, first round pick in a Superflex startup. As of right now, he is. April ADP, he was 10th overall. Yeah,
I mean, I'd probably be grabbing him over that other tier quarterback. Like you couldn't trade Deshaun Watson for the 101 in a current league.
Probably not. You're definitely not doing it with Dak or Kyler.
Right. And like, admittedly, those players are good values, but Bijan Robinson is more fun. And I want Bijan Robinson.
Mm-hmm. If I were looking at Bijan, I'd be wanting to trade back. Just trade back a couple of spots. Then that allows you to take the quarterback or the player that you actually want to instead. And if that means you get a round upgrade from round 8 to round 7 by moving back 3 spots.
Yep.
Bam. So now you have 2 7s. You don't have an 8th. And you still got the player that you wanted and didn't have to pull the trigger on Bijan if you didn't want to in a startup.
It's a dream. Like that's the dream.
Worth it.
Trading out of picks you don't want to make is the ultimate cheat code.
Yeah, for sure. And then whenever, like, I did that in the TA, I did a Trade Addicts 11 startup with Russ, and I had like the 106, and I traded back. Well, I was like, oh, should I take Lamar here at the 106? I probably could. I like it. Oh, I got this really good offer to move back 3 spots. And then I ended up getting Lamar at 109. So I was like, well.
That's cool. The whole reason. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, thank you. So
there we go.
We're out of comments.
There we go.
Nice. So tomorrow night is the draft. I have to go. I'm probably going to log off here and watch draft day, to be honest with you, because it's a yearly tradition. And
movie's not good. The movie's not good.
That's fine. It's fun to watch. And my favorite, like Arian. Well, wait, I got Arian Foster's in the movie. All right, so
yes, that's fair. They swindled them. They did it.
So hopefully everybody has a fantastic night tomorrow night. Everything goes the way you want to for your NFL team. Sean gets it. Vontae, no matter what. Exactly. Oh, Ryan, real quick, what's the general cost to move up if you have a top 9 pick for another top QB?
I wouldn't.
I don't mind it. Like
I am very against trading up in rookie draft startups because so much is predicated on like having depth early. That's how you can get to a juggernaut team, a quote unquote juggernaut. I like doing like incremental trade backs rather than coming up. But if you do it, you probably got to give up, like Addison said, a pick swap in like probably even earlier than the 8th and the 7th. You probably got to do like a 5th and a 6th, maybe throw a rookie pick at him. Like
I was
a second rounder.
What if you moved like 202 and your 24 second for the one?
That's fine. I've never seen it that cheap.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. But
I would do that.
Yeah, you'd probably need a round swap. But yeah, if you can get it for a good price, I would say then it's definitely worth it. If you're just able to just say, well, I'm just gonna have Trevor Lawrence and Lamar Jackson. Done.
Try to fight me.
We'll figure everything else out later.
But the way I look at it is, if you have Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott and the other picks you kept, are you worse off?
No. That's I mean, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, no, I know.
There's definitely prices that make sense to move up, though. And sometimes I feel like, especially in leagues where everybody wants to move back, it seems like you might be able to swindle out a good trade up deal.
That's if everybody's looking to push back, you can. That's the time. Yeah, zig when other people zag. That's the move. I agree. That's fair.
So, but all right. Yeah, like I said, hopefully everybody has a fantastic time tomorrow night. Everything goes well with your favorite teams. They draft who you want. They don't draft who you don't want. All that kind of stuff. We are going live Friday afternoon. Did we set a time for that? Did we agree on a time?
I'm looking to see what time I blocked off for my doctor's appointment. 11. It's the middle of a work day. 11:30 Central.
So at 12:30 Eastern, we're gonna go live. I don't think we're doing like a mock draft because there won't be really enough information to change anything for a mock draft. But we'll just go live to do some AMA, talk about some reactions. I think we're each going to pick a player that we want, that we thought gained a lot of value and then also lost a lot of value. So we might have to come pre-prepared a little bit. Maybe I just threw us under the bus. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to watch the draft. I'm going to have thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be fun. It's going to be really chill. It's going to be more of like a lunchtime coffee hour, all that kind of stuff. Friday afternoon. Yeah. Join us if you would like to react to round 1 Friday afternoon. So cool.
I like it.
All right. I'm going to end the broadcast now. So
goodbye.
It's very unofficial outing. So thank y'all so much for watching, for subscribing. If you're not already, check out the channel memberships as well too. And we'll catch y'all later.
See ya.